Climate change is a buzzword. It's such a big problem and it's an issue that nobody can do it alone. Not government, not the private sector, anyone. So obviously in countries like Pakistan, where government always run very high on the fiscal deficit, private sector is the one which can, if it comes over, that can help a lot. And that is the issue, and that is the point that that moment government is emphasizing on that. Government is trying to woo private sector into what they are doing, and that partnership can deliver what we call it as win-win. We have today with us very eminent guest, member climate change of the Planning Commission, Nadia Rehman. Very warm welcome.
Thank you.
Please tell us something. What are you basically doing to woo the private sector in adopting the climate change policy?
So the way I'm from the Planning Commission, we
Yeah.
approve public sector projects.
Right.
And traditionally, the way the government has worked is that we've relied completely on the public exchequer. So it's either taxpayers' funds or debt financing that comes from MDBs. So now we are changing our mode of financing to include the private sector. And several initiatives have already been taken, but we are taking a systematic and framework approach to it. One is that we've developed a blended finance framework which looks at credit enhancements, first loss guarantees, green bonds, debt for nature swaps, and climate finance and carbon finance. So in order to reduce the risk perception, we are introducing environmental and social safeguards and changing organizational structures for timely reporting, for risk mitigation and monitoring of all of our projects to increase investors' confidence. And this is something that that is a part of our recent issuance, which was a Sukuk, the first inaugural green Sukuk in Pakistan, which was issued 2 months back and we raised finance for public sector climate projects from the domestic banks. There was a very high interest, the bond was oversubscribed, and we were able to get financing for projects in interior Sindh, water security projects in interior Sindh and Balochistan, and also for power generation in remote areas of Gilgit-Baltistan. And as a part of the Sukuk issuance, and the next issuance that we are doing with sovereign guarantee is the Panda Bond issuance, where we are going into the Chinese capital market to raise funds for public sector projects which are green in Pakistan.
Where China? In Shanghai? Or?
It would be listed in the Shanghai Stock Exchange, and it is the partial risk guarantees will come from the Asian Infrastructure Bank and the Asian Development Bank. And we are, as a part of this whole process, we are bringing in strict processes for environment and social and fiduciary safeguards, because all of that reporting is required and timely risk mitigation is required so that we achieve our objectives within the maturity of the bond. So the government is reorganizing itself. We are working very closely with Planning Commission, Ministry of Finance, and our sponsor ministries, which would be Ministry of Water, the Power Division, and also Ministry of Health. So we are working very closely, and we are assigning service level agreements for timely completion of these projects and for timely reporting.
Yeah, how it is going to contribute in ESG?
So it contributes in ESG in a big way, because as a part of this, the Ministry of Finance has developed the Sustainable Finance Framework, which is for environment, social projects. And so only projects that meet the requirements of the sustainable, of the ES, of the sustainable finance framework will be shortlisted. So they will be funded. So ESG investments of the government, this would make our government public sector portfolio also ESG compliant.
Governments, obviously, federal government, other governments are implementation point. They find they have the pathway and then they deliver on that pathway. Now, should Pakistan look towards the Planning Commission and you as the member as a pivot where the ideas are generated and given a pathway to implement on?
Absolutely. So, considering that all the that climate finance, climate is a public common, right? You're talking about air, water, and joint sustainable stewardship of public resources. So it's primarily a government responsibility. However, we are increasing the role of the private sector at the Planning Commission. So we've developed the blended finance framework, which gives an importance to to bonds for the private sector and public-private partnership, and also through carbon credits. And in fact, there is a fund that we have developed with IFC and also the British government, which is called Climate Investment Fund for Pakistan, CIFPAC, which is going to leverage 500 million pounds. And this is entirely for the private sector for investments in adaptation. And the first project that has been financed is for sustainable aviation fuel, and that's a $35 million project, and that equity financing has been given to SAFCO, an organization which is going to be using cooking oil and recycling that and making sustainable aviation fuel for it. So the purpose of this window is a purely private sector window, is that everything cannot be solved by large government public investments. So we are looking for some sectors in which we can promote the private sector, some and others in which we can work closely with the private sector, such as energy transmission, renewable energy investments, those larger mitigation investments, and also in adaptation. And then there are some projects that are going to remain public projects.
Yeah, thank you very much on giving time. So obviously you have heard all these responses from a member planning commission. So it is about time rush to the planning commission. They have a lot of ideas and their ideas and their projects are bankable, because if the Shanghai Stock Exchange is looking forward to host them, obviously the projects are sustainable and they are bankable as well. With this, we come to the end of the program. Bye for now.